Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel, and today I'm going to be showing you how to recreate Hans S15 Silvia from Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift in GTA 5 Online. Now the car of choice we're going to be using to recreate the build is going to be the Annis Remus, which you can go ahead and buy on San Andreas. And this video is going to be showing you all of the customization options you need to put on this car to get it looking as close as possible as we can get to the real life Mona Lisa S15. Now, as well as running you through those cosmetic modifications, I'm also going to tell you the performance upgrades you should put on this car so you can go ahead and actually drift this thing. But with all of that being said, if you do go on to enjoy today's video, please do go ahead and drop a like and consider subscribing for more. And if you are interested in this sort of content, do go ahead and comment down below what kind of iconic car builds you'd like to see from me in the future. But all of that being said, hopefully you enjoyed today's video and let's get into it. Now let's get into the build itself. Now I reckon the Remus, despite being an S13, really can look quite similar to the S15 in the movie if we go ahead and tune it up right. So I think this is the closest representation we can do in GTA. But for armor, I've maxed it out. It doesn't really affect your performance. Bodywork, I removed the trim. There wasn't really any of that black side trim on the actual car in the film. For brakes, if you're going to be drifting this thing, I recommend you leave them stock, as upgraded brakes will slow down your momentum and kill off your drift a lot easier. For bumpers, the body kit the car in the movie used was a C-West drift body kit, so in my opinion the tuner bumper and the high-end bumper both are pretty good candidates for this. I went with the drift bumper the tuner bumper personally, but you can choose the high-end one if that one looks a bit closer to you. And on the rear end, the performance bumper in my opinion looks the closest to the C-West body kit. Now the engine the actual car had was an SR20D engine, which you can see in the picture right there. It wasn't the RB26 you saw in the movie. If you do want to recreate that, there's a picture of it here as well, but I'm going to go off of what the real car had. So I'm going to leave the air filter, engine block and the cam covers all stock. There wasn't a strut brace, so just leave it as whichever one you want. Engine tunes I maxed out so we can get a bit more performance, which will help us drift, and then the intercooler I left stock. For the exhaust, I went with the chrome exhaust, as this is the closest one to the Saad Arouse MIG-R exhaust the actual S15 had. In the movie it was only on the left hand side, but there isn't an option for it, so this is the closest we can get in the game. Now for the fenders, I would just recommend leaving it stock. There was a C-West body kit for drifting on the car, but none of the fender options really line up with how that looked, so I think the stock fenders look the best. For the grille option, we're going to go ahead and do the grille delete. Now for the headlight covers, we're just going to leave them stock. There weren't any special ones in the film, and it's the same with the hood. We're just going to leave both of these options stock. Moving on to the interior, the actual car had a stripped down interior for everything other than the dashboard, so I think the semi-stripped interior right here is a really good representation of that. And then going for the actual design, I just left it stock. We don't need any dials or anything. For the doors, I went with the aluminium panel door cards. And then for the seats, I went with the carbon sports seats right here. I think those are the best ones to represent the Recargo racing seats that the Mona Lisa had. And then the the Rally Basic steering wheel, in my opinion, looks closest to the Sparko steering wheel the car had. Now for roll cage, I just used the padded dash Dodger cage. The actual car did have a roll cage, just pick whichever one you like. I reckon the full one or the Dodger one pretty much does the job. For lights, I went with the white headlights, and we're not going to include a neon kit. But for the livery, you're going to want to go ahead and equip the performance racing livery in white. This, in my opinion, looks the closest to the C-West livery you see on the car in the film. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any of the lettering or any of the decals on the hood. It doesn't really have the orange stripe design that sweeps up. We're going to have to take advantage of the secondary color and just do it along the bottom. But it is a shame it wasn't more accurate, but it is what it is. And for the plate, I just chose the black on white license plate right there. Now the car in the movie had TV3 metallic blue on it as the primary option, and then the secondary, which we've used as an orange, is represented in the livery, but I think the closest that we can get to the main color is the metallic dark blue. Now for the secondary, this is going to represent that stripe that the C-West livery brought on. I know it's not the most accurate, but you know, we got to work with what Rockstar's given us, so I just use sunrise orange. Now for the interior, I left it black, and then accent color stock, no crew emblem. But for the pearlescent, I recommend the dark blue color right there on the metallic. I think the color looks pretty close to what we had for the actual one. Now for roof accessories, I recommend you just keep everything stock. There isn't anything in particular that the S15 in the movie had. And for side skirts, I recommend the performance skirts, as in my opinion these look the closest to the C-West side skirts that were on the Bodykit. Now the sun strip, it's really optional. The car in the movie did have one, but it had white branding on it, so this one might not be the most accurate, but I just included it anyway. And then for the spoilers, I recommend the drift wing. This in my opinion looks the closest to the C-West adjustable wing that the S15 in the film had. I do know that it does affect drifting a little bit, but you should be able to drift the car fine. The traction increase isn't too terrible. And with suspension, I recommend leaving it stock, as this will not only help you get less grip for drifting, but the car in the movie wasn't really lowered anyway, and you can still do it for the interaction menu. Transmission, I put the race transmission, and the trunk we left stock. Turbo tuning is optional. I'd recommend it if you're drifting it, but of course the car in the movie was naturally aspirated. It did not have a turbo, so if you want to go for realism, don't put the turbo on it. Now for the wheels, I recommend the Uza rims in the sports class, and I made them chrome. I think these look closest to the Volk racing rims the actual car had. We're not going to have any special enhancements other than the drift tires. We're not going to have the tire lettering or any of the tire smoke, and the windows in the car in the movie were not tinted. So yeah, that is pretty much the build. Let me know your thoughts on it down below. I tried to make it as realistic as possible with the real parts, you know, on the side and all of that. Huge thank you to Craig Lieberman. Most of the images did come from his YouTube channel, and a few others were from other places on the internet. I'll link all the sources down below. But let me know what your thoughts on the build were. Let me know if you enjoyed the build as much as I do. But thank you all very much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy, do go ahead and drop a like and subscribe for more content just like this, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.